Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with a wrap-up video for our Playing on a Budget Mono Black. But I guess we're just going to talk about what cards worked, what cards didn't work. I'm not the biggest fan of like the Mogis Marauders in this deck. I can see when they would be good, but for the most part, I don't think that they are necessary. And in the Despoiler of Souls too, is kind of just an awkward card with all the hate for early creatures. So if we were to go back to the drawing board, I think that we should think of this deck as mono black control. And I'd take out the... We're going to open up a copy of this deck, so... And we're going to go for what I would consider a more control route that I think is going to be more successful. So the Bloodsoaked Champions come out. The Despoiler of Souls come out. Now we're getting weaker against the Sphinx's tutelage deck, but I think we're getting more powerful all in all versus the variety of decks out there. So I think we'd want to go to 4 Sign Bloods. And since this won't be playing on a budget, you definitely want 4 Thoughtseizes main board, and I'd still keep the Duresses in the sideboard because this is you're going to use card advantage through Sign of Blood and Thoughtseize, and so Torments are still okay though. I think we could safely cut a few. And Lanquish definitely wants to be main board, and possibly even more Lanquishes. Like, you'd want a kind of a mix between Lanquish and Crux, maybe even Crux in here. Other than Crux kills, well, the Crux does not kill an Erebos' Titan. I think this is a good spread of control. And we do need other ways to have devotion. It's even thinking about like Palace Siege here is a card that I think would fit perfectly. I don't know if a 4 of Palace Siege is the right move, but this deck would want to get up to Palace Siege as quickly as possible. I think Squelching Leeches wants to be at least a 2 of. You'd want a few more than just 1. And I wonder if there's any other big creatures that we could just stall off. I think that Erebos' Titan and Grey Merchant is fine with the Squelching Leeches. So Mogis' Marauder would be out for sure. And then it would be some amount of Herald of Torment that we can easily cut. And I'm still liking the sideboard as is. Like 3 Duresses with the Thoughtseizes is fine. I don't think we quite need Read the Bones. Like you could make the argument of we need to keep as many cards advantage as possible if we're going to be using Thoughtseize. And then even going into blue for Tassiger, but then we're just into blue-black control with a devotion feel to it. But I would cut possibly 2 Torments and go up just 1 more Swamp, or actually Radiant Fountain, or even Nighthowler Shrine of Nyx could be the cards. I mean, a full set of Radiant Fountains would be easy. I mean, I don't think it would hurt your mana base too much. Now that you're not worried about a turn 2. I mean, Bile Blight's the only thing you need to turn 2. And still liking the Self-Inflicted Wound, still liking the Infinite Obliteration, still liking the one of Nighthowler in the deck. And Erebos. Erebos was kind of iffy. Perilous Vault gives you answers for things. Lanquish helps you stall, because now you're a higher mana cost. And maybe the Torments are completely unnecessary. Or a Whip is just a one of. We do want to be whipping back like Erebos' Titans or Squelching Leeches. And I think that being able to bestow a Torment onto a Titan can give you another route to go. So maybe I'll play this for this Tuesday's upgraded deck. Open to your suggestions until then. I mean, there's just so many options in the sideboard what we could go. But I'm thinking Palace Siege is the finisher. Is very, very powerful in this metagame with a lot of decks trying to go more late game. And Palace Sieging back for a Grey Merchant every turn does seem very relevant, but is more than 2 the right line of play? I think you don't want too many of these, so we'd cut down to 2 Palace Siege. And it's going to be Squelching Leeches. We're going to need an Urborg if we're going to run Squelching Leeches. It's just better than nothing to be able to turn it into a swamp. And I'm still considering, it's still thinking that Squelching Leeches as a 4 of would be the right play, and just run control all the way up until Squelching Leeches and Erebos' Titan, and then win the game through them. But this card might not be better than Herald of Torment. I mean, it does survive Lanquish if you Lanquish then, or Squelching Leeches then Lanquish. A lot of times it'll be a 5/5. So Crux, I think, can easily go sideboard. And Nighthowler still seems like a really good card against heavy creature-based decks, but it might... I'm going to keep it in here. Erebos God of the Dead, though, just seems very iffy. And another Lanquish. I think 2 is probably ideal. We have Drown in Sorrows. Pharika's Cure might not be needed anymore. It's really getting its mono red. But another Duress, another Self-Inflicted Wound might be better than Pharika's Cures. I mean, it really is all... I think this running this more complete package is the right move. I mean, what this deck does want is some sort of man land. But I think we'll put in a Read the Bones as maybe a 2 of in here, and then we can cut a land and just be 23. And this way we can draw a ton of cards. And be in 2 Read the Bones, 4 Sign of Bloods, and Palace Siege should be giving, and Whip of Erebos should be giving us card advantage. So Hero's Downfall, Ultimate Price. I think we have plenty of removal, and Thoughtseize is kind of that answer their early game. Would we want more than 1 Infinite Obliteration? The card seems good whenever we cast it, though. It's a heavy creature base. We get it on turn 3. With Thoughtseize and Duress, it becomes a lot more powerful. We might actually want another one in here, to be honest. But I think we're going to keep this as is, and then we'll try this out as the upgraded version and see how well it goes as a more of a control-based deck. And do we have too many Squelching Leeches in here? It's telling us we have a missing card. But we'll go ahead and we'll play this. So Tuesday, be looking forward to this. And then next week, we might try Mono Blue Devotion for playing on a budget. I know I've done Mono Blue Devotion a ton, but I'd like to test it out one more time. In fact, I'd like to even test out Mono Red Devotion with Fanatic of Mogis, as I think there's a lot of very powerful red cards at the moment that can have their devotion stay out. And yeah, and so Mono Green is still a thing. We know that Mono Green works. I don't think I need to play the Axor Devotion, but I think I'd like to give an Ode to Theros block before we rotate into Battle for Zendikar. And then during the rotation time, we'll probably go back to Modern. So let me know about in the comment section below what cards you'd put in kind of a control list, or if control list is the right route to go. Despoiler of Souls can be quite powerful, but I think that you want it more of an aggressive deck, and this isn't the right deck to put it in. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com and GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.